The Canon Rebel EOS T3. How does it do for portraits? Hey, what's up you guys? Nick here. For those of you new to my channel, my name is Nick. I am a professional photographer. I've been shooting professionally for about the last 4 years, though I've had a camera in my hand for the last 16. And I have kind of been teasing this video a little bit. We did an entire whole street photography video with the Canon Rebel EOS T3, and I'll link that one right up there. And I've done a couple of shorts where I have mentioned it, including the one that I did yesterday, where I was talking about this video in particular. Now, this camera has actually really come to surprise me. It is from 2011, so that makes it 10 years old, and it is a 12 megapixel camera. Now, before I decided to shoot this video, I actually went and edited the photos that I did with Jessica. Now, Jessica was the only model that had time to do a portrait shoot with video. Now, most of the portrait shoots I've done with this already, the clients and models had asked me to not include their photos in the video, and I respect their wishes on that, and that's why you guys see a lot of the same reoccurring faces in my videos when we're doing these kinds of shoots. Because not everyone wants to be in a video or featured on YouTube, and I completely respect that. Now, again, the one complaint I have about this camera is starting to mitigate itself. I have learned, and this is a trick I'm going to show you guys, when you bring the camera up to take your photo. Now, I've complained about the way the autofocus selection works, but what's nice is, if you remember, it's the last button over here. So when I was shooting with Jessica, the way I was able to quickly change out is I just hit that button and then the arrows right here to select where I wanted the focus to be set at. So I'm starting to mitigate that issue that I've had with this camera just based on that. Now, how does this camera do as a portrait camera? As you guys are probably seeing in the B-roll, now, before we jump headlong into this video, you guys, I do want to ask that you do subscribe. At 1,000 subscribers, which we are at 725 now, again, the channel just continues to grow. I'm giving away this Nikon N80 35mm film camera. It might actually be the other one that I have. I have two of these because I love these cameras that much. So I will be giving one of these away, so make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit the bell notification so you know right when I upload, and let's get back into talking about that Canon B-roll and my cutaways and the photos that I'm sharing. This camera actually takes amazingly sharp photos. We are using the Yongnuo 50mm Canon lens, which we will do an entire video about in the near future. But the photos we got of Jessica with this camera actually turned out to be really phenomenal. It's really sharp. It does a good job of capturing color, which there wasn't a lot of color to capture, being that the park we were in is mostly dead grass. Now, the river was just behind us. We did the video on the Nikon D70S video, which I will link right up there, and my 2021 review of the Nikon D5100, which I will link down in the description. We did that at the exact same park, and so I wanted to change up the setting a little bit since my model was the same. Overall, I would say that this camera is really fast. It processes its images pretty quickly. When I put it in continuous shoot mode and I just held down the button to get as many photos as I could, it got all the action shots that I wanted to at about 1/2000th to 1/4000th of a second. We were shooting wide open at f1.8 for the majority of this shoot and 100 ISO. So if you're getting into basic portrait photography, I would have to say that the Canon EOS Rebel T3 is a pretty good camera for that. Now, some of the limitations I ran into is because we were shooting outside. This menu isn't very bright, nor is it very big. Now, around the same time that this camera came out, the Nikon D5100 came out. Now, it's not a completely fair comparison, since the Nikon D5100 is a step above this camera in the consumer market. It is a it is tiered higher. But the LCD screen is slightly smaller and it's kind of hard to see the images with direct sunlight on them. With the 51 and the 5300, I was able to flip that screen out and we could kind of shade it a little bit without moving the entire camera around. Other than that little bit of an issue, it didn't seem to have any other problems. It photographed great, the colors came out wonderful, the photos are really, really sharp, but part of that could be because of the 50mm lens we were using. The controls on this camera are extremely easy when you're doing portrait photography. It's very intuitive, I would say. Again, when I'm up here and I'm taking my photos, I can easily press that button to choose the area that I want to focus on. Not only that, but if I had to change the ISO on a fly, I did bring it up to 200 ISO a couple of times. It's nice that that button is right there and it allows me to use these to quickly change my ISO. This again is your shutter speed, and when you're doing f-stop, you push this button right here, so your thumb just comes over, you hit the AV button, and you can switch your f-stop up and down. It's very intuitive, it is very user-friendly. So I was able to get those fast action shots that I wanted, but we were also able to line up and get some more serious photos. It was a lot of fun. It's something that I definitely want to go out and do more shoots with, and I'm actually in the process of working on a video where we go in depth on an easy tutorial on how to use this camera, much like we did with the 5100 and the 5300, the D50 and the D70, and I will link that playlist right up there. So we are going to do an in-depth video. I'm hoping to do it with Ariana, and with that photo shoot, we'll probably get 2 videos out of it because I want to show you guys the full capabilities of this camera as far as shooting quickly. We might get more than 2 videos out of that, and I'll keep you guys updated on YouTube Shorts, whether or not that is coming together, probably some behind the scenes stuff and things to look forward to on that. So, one other thing I did not try while we were out there because, again, the sun was too bright on this back screen. I even brought the backlight up as far as it would go and it was still too bright, so I didn't get to use the live view feature on the back of this camera. I have played around with it a little bit at home, but I haven't played around with it enough to get a solid answer. When we go to the studio with this camera, I will definitely be playing with the live view so that you guys get an idea of how well it works. I'm gonna get a chest mounted GoPro so that you can see what I see as we're shooting. So what do I give this camera as a beginner's portrait camera? You're just getting in, you want to start taking portrait photos, but you want something simple to learn with. I would give it a solid 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10 score for that because of how user-friendly it is. Now, my complaint about where the focus point is and how the controls work are because all of my Nikons function differently. As I get used to this camera, it is getting easier and easier for me to hit that button, pick my focus area, and go from there. As I get used to it and the muscle memory builds, it's not as big of an issue as it was before. So I would definitely say 9 out of 10. The usability on this camera, the price of this camera, the sharpness and color capture capabilities of this camera, as a beginner, I feel like this is a really, really good place to start, especially if you can find one on the used market for relatively cheap. Lenses are plentiful and lenses are cheap. From my research and me looking at lenses, Canon lenses are generally cheaper than Nikon lenses across the board. I don't exactly know why. I will have to dig into that and figure out exactly why that is, but if you're just looking for a basic, simple camera to learn with, this has all the functionality that you'll need, plus a little bit more. I haven't done any video with this camera yet, but we are going to be doing a full series of video capabilities of the cameras that we have. So the Canon here will be featured in a video, the 5300 we're going to do a video with, and the Nikon D5100, which I remember stating I was disappointed with its video qualities, but as I've learned more about that camera, and now that I have another one here, we're going to go out and test the full video capabilities of all 3 of these cameras in different settings and do videos on that. So that's my review of the Canon EOS Rebel T3 as a portrait camera. Again, we've done a street photography video on this camera, which I believe I linked earlier in this video, but as a portrait camera, I find that this camera definitely 9 out of 10. It's super light, light, it's super versatile, it's very easy to use, very one-handed friendly, it shoots quickly and processes your images relatively quickly for the cost of this camera. The price range is perfect, and the amount of information for this camera online, since it is an older camera, is very plentiful. So 9 out of 10 for the Canon EOS Rebel T3. So I want to thank you guys again so much for joining me. This has been a really hectic week. It is the week that this video comes out is midterms week, so hopefully I'll be able to get 3 shorts up, but I'm not 100% entirely sure that I'll even be able to get 2 up, so I might just have 1 shorts next week instead of the 3 that we have been posting. I'm not 100% sure as of shooting this. So I want to thank you guys again. Please like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have been awesome. I've been getting a ton of questions on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I've answered what I could. I've got videos coming out for the answers that I could not answer through text. So if you have a question, feel free to hit me up there or comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, please share it. And don't forget, I have merch. This is a photo from Aria from last year. I will put the link for this shirt down in the description, as well as a link to both of my merch shops. So thank you guys again so much. You have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. Bye.